Back in March, I featured Maven Knight author Matthew Romeo as my guest host. He provided you with a list of his favorite sci-fi and fantasy books. We took a break last month for Author Awareness April, but this month I've asked my War of the Stars co-host, Mark Tolly, to provide his top 10 reading recommendations. I hope you enjoy John's suggestions.
Hello, everyone, and my name is Mark Tolly. I am the host of War of the Stars, and I'm here today to go through my top 10 all-time favorite books of all time, starting with Freedom for a Cheetah by Arthur Catherall. This is just a fun book. It's a glimpse into a world that we don't really hear much about. Early 20th century India, following the adventures of a cheetah that was kept in captivity as a hunting cheetah. And it's a young adult book, but it also holds a special place in my heart as one of the first novels I ever read multiple times. Just a really, really fun book. Number 9 is Moby Dick by Herman Melville. One of the best opening lines of all time with Call Me Ishmael. Just a classic American novel. Number 8 is Call of the Wild by Jack London. Again, a classic American novel. I almost added the White Fang, but I just feel like this is a little bit slightly better book. I mean, The Adventures of Buck, a domesticated dog taken from his home. It's just, again, it gives you a glimpse into a different world, that being the Klondike Rush of the 1890s, which for the time it was written had just happened. So, but for us living today, it definitely gives us a glimpse into a different time. Number 7 is Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. It's just a fun book. Peter's one of those characters I feel that he's just so easy to root for, even when he's messing with Mr. Potter's garden and everything like that. It's just so fun. He's a very likable roguish character. Number 6 is I, Jedi by Mark Stackpole, Adventures of Corran Horn. What I liked about this book was the style. It's a style that's not very common, I don't feel, in novels. A novel is written in first person. It gave it a unique feel. I feel much like you're reading a diary. Number 5 is The Romulan Way by Diane Duane and Peter Morwood. What I liked about this book is the world building. Basically creating a new language, a world, a history of this planet, the Romulans. Really giving them a good backstory, and taking a whole section of the book to do this. That's separate from the novel, which I thought was really cool, and even giving a dictionary at the end of the book for all these different Raihansu words. Is War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Much like I, Jedi, again, written in first person. Sometimes H.G. Wells to me can be hard to read, just because of the style. He seems to write different styles for each book. But I mean, popularizing science fiction and really, almost inventing the genre. I know there's a few other people around during that time, but H.G. Wells was one of the forerunners of early science fiction, and everything that we have for sci-fi, in my opinion, we owe to H.G. Wells. Is The Truce of Epicora by Kathy Tyers. One of my favorite Star Wars aliens that never shows up again in the Sisaruki. Just very vicious, just almost Borg-like in the way they went about things. A really good book, really fun, really cool the way everything works out. Number 2 is Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. This is the book that made me a Star Wars fanatic. This was the turning point for me from being someone who thought the movies were cool, liked it, to I want to learn everything there is about this universe. This was this book. Timothy Zahn, the first of the Thrawn trilogies, just really reignited the Star Wars craze of that time period. And of course, number one, Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park. I don't know how many times I've read this book. I don't know how many times I watched the movie. This is one of those unique times where the movie and book, in my opinion, are equally good. I love the movie. I love the book. Just really changed the game in so many ways. And it's essentially a retelling of Frankenstein. So I hope you enjoyed that. Those were my top 10 favorite books of all time. Until next time, I will see you guys later.
A big thank you goes out to John for being this month's guest host. If you're interested in picking up one of the books mentioned in his segment, you can find that list of titles and their ISBN numbers down in the video description. Now, if you've got a love for Star Wars, and who doesn't, and you want to connect with our podcast, all the information for War of the Stars is featured down in the video description. We are just finishing up our review of The Bad Batch Season 3, or the final season, however you want to word that, and it's always fun to connect with new listeners.